All right, class, we finished our 2x2 Lego block. We're now going to move on per the lesson plan to the 2x4 Lego block. So here's our 2x2 block, and now I'm going to make a video series to get that 2x4 going. So to do that, we go down to the plus sign at the bottom of the screen, and we hit the plus sign and then create a new part studio. It pops up at the bottom of the screen, and I want to right-click on that, rename it, and I'll call it 2x4, 2x4. Block is fine. Then click up in the screen. It's renamed. You can see I have two of them here because this one is the one I'm making for the video. The other one's for the classes. We've been making it already. So I'll call this vid 2. 2x4 block is all you want to call it though. All right, now as I showed you before, we have the default geometry in the upper left-hand corner. We hide the origin, we hide the top plane, we hide the right plane. And now we only have the front plane showing, so we can hit the block up on the right-hand corner to go ahead and make it a flat piece of paper. Oops, I missed it. There we go. Remember wherever your mouse cursor is, with the scroll ball, you can zoom in and zoom out wherever the mouse cursor is, and you can push it down and move the screen around if you wish as well. We'll start off right in the front. All right, straight by the lesson plan. As we get going here, I'm going to go ahead and start off with that. First thing it says is a standard Lego block measures 15.8 length by 15.8 wide by 9.6 meters tall. That's the 2x2 block, but we're going to make the 2x4 block, so we're going to make it a little bit bigger. So we're going to go dimensions of 31.8 long by 15.8 wide, and then the depth will stay at 9.6. So that's the starting point here. Here I go, and I'm going to go to sketch, choose my sketch plane as always. There's nothing there, so we only have the front plane available. Turn the rectangle tool on. You can see front plane is labeled as the sketch plane. This green checkbox has to be open, like you see right now, for us to have our two-dimensional tools. So I have my rectangle. Boom. There's my rectangle. Now the dimension is step 2. Go up to the dimension tool. One click up, and on top, 31.8. And then on the side over here, one click off to the side, 15.8. So I have a dimension now with my length and my width. Zoom in a little bit. And now my depth is 9.6. So I go to extrude and add, make a new, there's nothing there. So make a new depth of 9.6. And now I have my block to start off with. So I figure I'll start on the bottom, start on the back of it as well. I'm sorry, not the bottom, but the back of the block. So I click on back up on here on the cube. I'm going to zoom in a little bit. And this is what the lesson plan tells you what to do. So it starts off with that 31.8 times 15.8 by 9.6. And now we're going to shell, same thing we do with the 2x2, we'll shell the block with a 1.2 millimeter border to hollow that out. So we go to the shell tool up at the top of the screen. Remember, we can't cover every tool right out of the gates here, so we'll start off with some basic ones. And that'll go ahead and click on the surface we want to shell and hit the check mark. Now the back surface of the Lego block is hollowed out, so to say, with a 1.2 millimeter border. And I'm going to go back to the lesson plan again. Just keep following that lesson plan. Now I want to sketch those circles that are on the bottom. If I scroll down the lesson plan, it'll show us the 3 circles that'll fit onto the bottom of this double the 2x2 block. So it's a 2x4 block. The circle diameter is 6.51, so we're going to make 3 circles with a diameter of 6.51, and then we're going to dimension it with 7.9 millimeters off the edges on the outside circles and an 8 millimeter dimension on the inside circles. So I'll show you that again. We'll go to sketch. I choose the surface, the inside hollowed out surface, which it should say face of shell 1. You can see it says face of shell 1 here. Turn my circle tool on. 1 circle, 2 circle, 3 circles. As you know, we do not need to worry about the size of them yet because we're going to dimension them next. So when you draw them, you just draw circles and then we dimension them. Here we go. 1 click on the blue circle. Come on up. And I'll type 6.51. And the next one, 1 click and go up. 6.51. 1 click on the next one. And again, 6.51, and this is all in millimeters because we have it set in class already to millimeters. Now I'm going to turn the dimension tool off, and I'm going to bring these back onto the surface that they're going to be in, and now turn the dimension tool back on so I can begin dimensioning them to the right location. So now we click on a center point and we go to the outside edge, and the distance between those two is going to be 7.9 millimeters. Same thing, center point to the top or the bottom, and the distance is going to be 7.9 millimeters. That thing turned black, that circle turned black, which is perfect, means it's locked in, assuming you have the dimensions right. And I have them all labeled here, nice and easy to see. Same thing on the left side. Let's go. The center point to the outside, boom, 7.9. And center point to the bottom or the top, 7.9. Turn black, it's good to go. Now, to lock the middle in, it's center point to center point. That width is 8, and that'll be locked in. I'll show you just by, I do 7.9 yet, and the middle point to the bottom, and that's 7.9. It'll turn black now. And just to show you, I don't have to do this, but this will be 8 from the center point to the center point. It's 8. You can see right there. So I'm just going to turn that off. All right, everything's good to go. Now, how deep, how big do we extrude this? If I hit extrude right now, it defaults to 25 millimeters. We obviously can't do that because it's sticking out the bottom of the Lego block too far. So if this Lego block is 9.6, we did a shell of 1.2 millimeters. So the shell, border 1.2 on the bottom as well. So 9.6 minus 1.2, 8.4. We're going to go ahead and make this dimension instead of 25, 8.4 millimeters. Boom, should be right with the bottom now. And they're all locked in into the right location per all the measurements off of Legos. So let me go ahead and set this up again, and I'm going to look at the lesson plan. Now that all of that is all squared away, we have those middle circles all perfectly located with a border of 6'1". We're going to go ahead and then put another circle on their surface, and we're going to make a diameter of 4.8 off the center point, and then we'll extrude that same, remove that same 8.4 to hollow them out per Lego blocks. That's how they're built. So we're going to go ahead and sketch, choose that sketch plane. I'm going to turn the circle tool on, find that center point, drag it out. Find that center point, drag it out. In my mouse cursor, when I put it on that box right there in the center, that's the center point, and drag it out. Now, there are other tools to do this. I'm trying to keep this consistent and simple as we're just beginning this in 6th grade. So I'm not going into the whole tool or some other tools. If you have a family member that's an engineer, they may show you some more complex things. I'm trying to keep it consistent and just make you understand the repetition of using it, and then we'll build from there, okay? So dimension again, one click on the blue circle, 4.8. That's our diameter or distance across the circle. Oops, I didn't get it. There we go. 4.8. Same thing with this one. Boom, boom, 4.8. All right, and then we extrude remove. And as you know, 9.6 minus 1.2 is a 4.8. So you can see it's going through the hole. We don't want it to go through the Lego like this. It's not what we're looking to build. So we need to set it up to 8.4 to go right to the bottom surface of that block. And there we go. All right, we're in a great spot. The last thing I want to do here is finish off that support across for the back. And for the Lego lesson, they have it going this way. I'm actually going to run it that way, the long way, so we have a little bit extra support. I think this one will just take care of this too, but why not just send it all the way across? It's going to be short enough that it's not going to impact the depth of the block, clicking into it, but it's going to support every one of these circles. I think that's good. So with that sketch, I choose this shell, surface of this shell. All of these sketches, sketch 3, sketch 2, sketch 1, they all need to be hidden for us to be able to get the shell, the face of shell. And they are. Sketch 3 is hidden, sketch 2 is hidden, sketch 1's hidden. So we're good. It says select sketch plane. I'm going to select the inside here, face of shell 1, rectangle tool, and I come across here from edge to edge. And we want to go ahead and make a 1 millimeter wide support. One click, one click. The distance between that is 1 enter. And now this is 15.8, this side here. 15.8 minus 1 is 14.8, so half of that is 7.4. So one click on this top area, one click here. If I go 7.4, that should stick me right in the middle between everything. Looks good. And then we just extrude 4 millimeters as we did before. We'll do an add of 4 millimeters off that face of shell 1. It'll run support for everything, and it'll just support the tube as we lock Lego blocks into it. I think that's a good idea if there's any problem, because they have it running this way. If there's any problem, we'll adjust it, but it's 4 millimeters, so it's really not going to be in the way of anything plugging in. I think we'll be fine, and that's what we're going to go ahead and end on for this video. Good job.